there and welcome. You're about to watch a Lakehead International live webinar. It is a great way to explore what Lakehead University is all about. In this session, you'll hear insights and stories from Lakehead professors, staff, and current students. While watching, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section below. For now, let's dive in. Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another Lakehead International live session. My name is Hardika Narankar, and I'll be your host today. In this session, I will also be joined for a short interval in the middle by my co-host, Jordan Ball. Today's focus is all about your next steps in the admission process. We'll walk you through how to complete and track your application and how to officially accept your offer to Lakehead. For those of you who do not know me, I'm part of the international team at Lakehead University. So let's just kick things off with an overview of Lakehead. So Lakehead University is a public institution in Ontario, Canada, with 3 distinct locations. Our main campus is in Thunder Bay. We also have a campus in Aurelia and a specialized STEM hub located in Barrie. But what really sets Lakehead apart isn't just geography, it's the strong sense of community that you will find here. It's life at Lakehead just goes far beyond sitting in class and taking notes. It's also about engaging and connecting and also really becoming a part of something. So whether that's your professors, your classmates, or just a broader community around you. One of the features that makes Lakehead especially unique is our commitment to undergraduate research. So at many universities, research options do not come until the very later part in your degree or even graduate school for that matter. So at Lakehead, students can dive into research as early as their first year, giving them a hands-on experience right from the start. Now, while rankings aren't everything, but they do help to paint a picture of where we stand. So here are a few of the highlights that we at Lakehead are very proud of. So we are ranked at top 3 in Canada for research in our category. Times Higher Education recognized us as the #1 university in the North America among schools with under 10,000 students. And we are consistently in Maclean's top 5 in our category in Canada. So even though we are considered a smaller university, our impact in research and student achievements is anything but small. So another thing students really often talk about is the class size. Instead of sitting in big lecture halls with hundreds of people, Lakehead offers a much more personal learning experience. So our student to faculty ratio is 15:1 and 13:1 in Aurelia, which means that you will have the chance to really engage and ask questions to build connections with your professors. We are also really proud of the diversity within our community. So we have students from over 90 nations that are constantly learning from the different perspectives and experiences of their peers, and not just from the textbooks. And of course, everyone's really curious about the outcomes after graduation. So the numbers speak for themselves. 96.2% of our graduates are working within 2 years, which is actually higher than the Ontario average of 94.1%. That just tells us that how our students are leaving here, which is very ready and confident and well prepared for what's there to come next. So I had a question to ask. Why do you think so many students from across the world choose Canada for their studies? Well, there are a few big reasons. For starters, Canada is ranked top 10 greenest countries in the world to live in. On top of that, Canada is also ranked among the top 14 most peaceful countries in the world. That means that it is safe, it is welcoming, and it is a really supportive place for students from all kinds of backgrounds. Canada is also ranked one of the best places to live, thanks to its high quality of life, safety, and peaceful environment. Canada is also known to embrace multiculturalism and also being more inclusive. Canada was actually the first country to officially embrace multiculturalism, and that just shows why nearly 1 million international students are now calling Canada home. One of the greatest things about studying in Canada is the flexibility to work while you study.
So as an international student, you can work up to 24 hours a week during the school year and then switch to full-time during scheduled breaks like summer or winter holidays. So it's a great way to earn some income and also build experience and start making connections. Now, looking beyond your degree, Lakehead programs also qualify for up to 3 years of post-graduation work permit. That means that once you graduate and you will have the opportunity to stay and work in Canada, gaining hands-on experience in your field. And if you're thinking even further ahead, completing a Canadian university degree allows you extra points when applying for permanent residency. And with that, let's just dive into our today's session. So here's what we'll be covering in this webinar. So the agenda for today is understanding your application status, key next steps in the admission process, which includes provincial attestation letters, which is PALs, paying your fees, course registration, and also connecting with current Lakehead students. And finally, we'll wrap up with a live Q&A where we'll answer your questions directly. So we have got a lot to go through. Let's jump right in. So let's start by looking at where you might be in the application process. Every applicant will fall into a specific status, and for undergraduates, there are 6 possible stages that you'll see listed, which is on the left side of the screen. So we'll dive into it. So in terms of the first one, which is incomplete, this states that your application is missing something. It hasn't been finalized yet, so you'll need to provide the required details. The next up is pending. So in this, your file is complete, but no decision has been made yet. When it comes to the next one, which will be the admitted conditionally, which is the ADC, in this status, you have received an offer, but we are waiting on final items like transcripts, proof of degree completion, or any English language test scores. So the conditions may vary. So if you're unsure about yours, reach out to the international admissions team. Next up is if it shows admitted, which is the ADM, then congratulations, you have been accepted with no conditions, and that's the unconditional offer. The next up is eligible to register, which is ELI. This means that you have been admitted and can go ahead and sign up for courses. So if you're starting this winter, you should already have the access. For spring students, registration usually opens in late March or early April. So you do not have to panic if you can't register yet. And the last and final is refused, which is REF. Unfortunately, this means that you did not meet the requirements for that particular program. And in many cases, you may be considered for an alternative option. So if not, you can always connect with our recruitment advisors to discuss how you might strengthen your application for the future. Now let's talk about the graduate applications, which may follow a slightly different path with additional stages and checkpoints. So the first one is application stage. In this, your file has been submitted. Next one is additional information, which means that admissions may need extra details while moving forward. In initial review, the Faculty of Graduate Studies is confirming that you meet the general admission requirements. If your status is department review, this means that once you have cleared the general requirements, your file is forwarded to your academic programs admissions committee for consideration. This part can take time, so depending on the department. Next up is admitted. So you'll receive an official letter of acceptance, which is posted in your application portal. The next 2 are the refusal. So the first one is RCO, refused committee decision. In this, the program itself has decided not to offer you a place. Now, this does not mean that you are unqualified. It just might mean that the intake was competitive. And finally, the refused by graduate studies, which is REF. The status means that you did not meet the overall admissions requirements, and you may need to upgrade your qualifications before you apply again. For those of you holding an acceptance letter, congratulations. That's a really huge step and something to be really proud of. Now, once you are admitted, that's when the real journey will begin. So there are a number of steps that you'll need to follow, and we'll walk you through each one of them on the next few slides. The very first thing is for you to look for your acknowledgement email. This email provides your Lakehead student ID number, your username, password for the portal, your Lakehead email account information. So if you don't see this in your inbox, always check your spam folder. If it's there, add us to your safe senders list so you do not miss out on any kind of important updates going forward. Next up is your Lakehead ID, username and password is very important. It's very vital. So you'll need to keep them for almost everything. So make sure that you store them somewhere safe and it's very easy to access, whether that's on your phone or on a diary, on a notepad, on securely saved on your computer. That depends totally on you. Now, when it comes to for undergrad applicants who apply through the UAC portal, remember that you'll also have your separate login details for that system, which you will need for things like updating or making changes to your application specifically. Now, while we do continue using your personal email, your Lakehead email account also becomes the main way that we'll be sending you updates. Think of it as your official communication channel with the university. So you'll receive details about your application as well as on updates on scholarships, any kind of award, bursaries, residence, and orientation details. So you'll use the same login details for your acknowledgement email to access this inbox. Next is visiting your student information portal, which is another yet tool you'll want to get comfortable with in the future. So this through this portal, you can check your application status, review and review certain required documents, apply for residence or scholarships, as well as register for courses once you become eligible. Now, on the screen, you'll see a sample view of the portal. When you log into the student portal, you'll see different tools that will help you manage your journey at Lakehead. Depending on your status, you may see options like student finances, tax slips, course registration, grades and transcripts, timetables, etc. So the screenshot that you see on the slide is from my personal account, so you do not have to worry about how it's going to look for you. For you, it might be different. Since I'm an employee, it might be different for me. This is the number one question that we actually get a lot from our students, which is, when will I hear back on my application? So for undergraduate applicants, decisions usually come within 4 to 6 weeks, though it can also take longer during the busy periods. So you can log in into your profile and your portal at any time to check your application status. Now, when it comes to graduate applicants, there isn't a guaranteed timeline since each department works at its own pace. So you'll still be able to monitor progress through your graduate application portal. Now, on the screen, you'll see two examples, one application at the initial review stage, and the other one is under department review. So these statuses let you know exactly where your file stands in the process. And now the next steps will be taken over by my lovely colleague, Jordan Ball, who will be introducing himself.
Thanks, Hartika, and hello, everyone. My name is Jordan Ball. I'm the coordinator of Global Pre-Arrival for Lakehead University. I'm excited to be here today to share more about next steps, and naturally, a part of those next steps has a lot to do with my job, but before we get there, let's chat about submitting documents. So for our undergraduate applicants, in terms of outstanding documents, there could be a number of items that we would be looking for to issue that unconditional LOA. I know everyone's very eager and excited to receive that unconditional LOA. There may be a few final steps, though, for you as an applicant to complete. So let's consider those. Number one, official transcripts. So sending official transcripts is one of the most common occurrences in terms of waiting on that LOA to be issued. Language proficiency requirements, that is, of course, only if it's required in your case. Some students may satisfy those requirements through one of the variety of means or ways that we offer. If you want any more clarification on what that looks like, you can always head over to our website. We clearly post our English language proficiency requirements on both our undergrad and grad pages. Course descriptions could be required for students that are transferring from college and university, especially if you're looking to receive potential transfer credits or at least get a transfer credit assessment completed. And last but not least, there's a select number of non-academic requirements, one being the portfolio for media, film, and communications, and the other being audition for music. In terms of how to submit some of those supporting documents, you can email them to docs.admission@lakeheadu.ca for conditional assessment. So that's the email listed in the yellow box there on the right. If you are looking for any documents to be considered official, though, there are very specific criteria that that document will need to meet. All that information is available on our website, and I'll actually go through it in the next slide. But first, let's chat with grad applicants. So these are our applicants, of course, pursuing a master's or doctoral program with us here at Lakehead University. For the most part, applicants should be uploading all of their supporting documents to complete their application before it even gets submitted. A list of required documents will be available within your application portal based on the program you select after you begin that application. So once again, applications and documents are unique for every program, especially at the grad level. And so keep that in mind before setting expectations around what you may be required to submit or may not be required to submit. If you need any clarification, of course, reach out to our grad teams or our international recruitment advisors, and we're going to be happy to help. So next we'll chat about submitting official transcripts. So official transcripts are different than the ones that are sent by email or uploaded to us by you, the applicant yourself. Official transcripts are typically mailed to Lakehead University directly from the issuing institution. So if you've attended a university or college back home, our expectation is that that institution will actually mail the copy of your transcript directly to us here at Lakehead. We will also accept delivered or mailed copies by applicants as long as it's in a sealed envelope by the institution. So typically, most common, we'll see the institution will seal the transcript in an envelope, stamp it, and sign the stamp to ensure that it's not broken or hasn't been tampered with. And then they'll send it to the student in their home country. At that point, the student will take it and put it in their own mailing envelope without opening the original seal, of course, and then forward it to us as a physical copy. Last but not least, we do accept electronic copies as official documents, provided that they are sent from an appropriate email address and to the correct email here at Lakehead University. So, for example, if you're once again coming from a high school in your home country and the office of the principal or the registrarial, pardon me, services wants to send that over to us, they can email a copy. And as long as it comes from that institutional email ID that we can verify, we'll accept that as official. Next, we're going to take a peek at the letter of acceptance and what you can expect in terms of how to review it and understand it more thoroughly. Of course, this is a really exciting time. It's something to celebrate when you get a letter of acceptance from any institution, but we're excited, hopefully, to have you join us here at Lakehead one day. Before you get too excited, though, and just breeze right on past that initial excitement, we want to make sure that we've got everything correct on that letter for you. So ensuring the accuracy of your personal information is critically important. So does your name, is it spelled correctly? Does it match your official travel documents, such as your passport? Is your date of birth correct, or is your address correct? All of these things could come into question, of course, based on the information you include in an application. Of course, we know any mistakes at that point were non-intentional, but we want to make sure that we want to get that fixed so that you don't have any problems moving forward, especially when it comes time to apply for your study permit. So on the next slide, we're going to take a peek at the program information section. So once again, make sure the program listed is the one that you applied for. As Hardica noted, in select cases, you may be alternative offered a different program or a different route. So keep in mind that you should be reading these details and clarifying it's exactly what you're hoping to do at Lakehead, and it's not something different. Also, make sure that the start term listed is correct and that the campus location is correct. Once again, this all comes down to what you would have selected in your application, but mistakes happen and we're happy to correct them or address them, work with you to see what can be flexible. It's also a good idea to take note of the estimated tuition here. Of course, details do vary, and tuition amounts are not necessarily exact to what you can expect to pay for the upcoming year. Those fees are typically released each spring for the upcoming academic year, but it will give you a better estimate. If you would like, you can also visit our tuition and fees page for further details. And on the next slide, we'll chat about admission conditions. So this is a critically important section. It's where you're going to read and understand any of the conditions listed in this section. You should have a very clear understanding on how you're going to meet these conditions and any of the deadlines included in this section of the letter. If you do not understand your conditions, or if you have questions, or if you would like to request accommodations in terms of the deadlines, please don't hesitate to reach out to the appropriate admissions team. They'll be happy to work with you and ensure that we can hopefully find a path forward. It's also a good idea to take note of the expiry date. We'll hold your spot at Lakehead until that day. But beyond that, we can't make any guarantees that we may not rescind the offer and offer that seat to somebody else. It's also a great idea to take note of the length of the program and take note of any important links that uh, maybe provide you information for your visa officer. And last but not least, on the next slide is the next steps section of your letter of acceptance. So here you're going to find instructions on how to accept your letter and the deadline to do this, of course. It will also make note of any applicable deposit amounts and how to pay them and the deadline to pay, which is a great transition into accepting your offer. So let's chat about our undergrad students. So this applies to anyone who's applied to Lakehead University for a bachelor's program. Please note that students who applied for January 2026 before September 12th will need to work with international admissions should they wish to accept their offer. For other students that are applying for fall 26, winter 26 beyond September 12th, you'll be able to complete these steps outlined here. So first and foremost, you're going to log into your online application. You'll click choices or offers to view that offer of admission. You'll then click offer or alternate offer, whichever one appears. Click accept to actually go to that offer and accept the offer, and click I'm ready to submit my response or changes. Follow the instructions and review and submit the entire process. And once it's actually successfully been submitted, you'll receive a confirmation number by email along with a summary of the responses you've made or of the changes to your application. Keep this email for your records so that if you ever need to verify that a change is made, or if you ever need to follow up about a change that was made, you can reference that, of course. And for our grad students on the next slide, when you log into your online application system, you're actually going to see there's going to be actions required. So the screenshot on your left, you can see that the title is awarded congratulations, and then you actually go in and you click that button just below it that says view. And once you're in there, you're going to see the screenshot on the right or something quite similar to it. And that's when you're going to click accept. And of course, that will get you started in the process. And you just follow the prompts quite easily online. And once it's all said and done, you will have accepted your offer to Lakehead University. Once you've accepted your Lakehead offer, that will actually kick off the provincial attestation letter process. So you can see a very brief overview of what to expect in terms of how to get a PAL, more affectionately known as a PAL or a TAL. So first and foremost, you accept your offer of admission, and then you complete a short PAL request form. When approved, that's when you'll be invited to pay your PAL confirmation deposit. You'll then receive your Lakehead University PAL, and you can proceed with applying for a study permit. You may be asking, okay, Jordan, well, how am I going to pay for that confirmation deposit? So on the next page, we'll look at how to pay your fees. So there's a wide range of paying for fees. The most popular are the first three, which I'll go into actually on the next slide. But for now, I'll jump to the fourth one and go from there. So online banking is only available for students who are paying through a Canadian banking institution. So perhaps you have a family member or a sponsor that's already based in Canada. They can make that payment on your behalf through online banking. More details are available on our website. Money orders and bank drafts are applicable, once again, typically for students that are already in Canada. So maybe something you might be looking at in your later years at Lakehead. There's also the opportunity for scholarships, bursaries, awards, and graduate awards to be applied directly to your student account. That information is available on our website, and it's clearly outlined how that money is applied to your account and how you might take that into consideration in terms of determining your overall fees or your overall invoice. Graduate assistantships, again, available only to master's and PhD students, are similarly applied directly to your student account and deducted from the balance that you owe Lakehead University. And last but not least, if you have a sponsorship, whether that be a government entity, an employer, a third-party agency, you can work directly with our international accounts officer to learn more about that. As I noted, though, the first three options are the most popular, so let's dive into them just a bit deeper. So electronic transfers or Convera, formerly known as Western Union or Global Pay, is the most popular option, and it's our preferred method. You'll be able to pay in your local currency. It's cost-effective and timely, and it's reliable and authorized by Lakehead University, which is important that we back this payment method. We also have an option called Pay My Tuition, which offers a variety of different methods, including credit card payments, and that is powered by TouchNet PayPath. You can pay by Visa or MasterCard in that instance. If you have any questions about any of these, though, of course, we have a dedicated international accounts officer who's more than happy to connect with you and share more details. And last but not least, in terms of preparing for your journey to Lakehead and kicking off the next steps, everyone's number one burning question in the final slide for today's PowerPoint is course registration. You're probably asking yourself, well, I've accepted my offer and now I just want to see what classes I'm going to get. Course registration is definitely an important part of your next steps. However, it may not be available at the time that you actually receive that letter of acceptance or you're admitted to Lakehead. Or it could be. It just depends when. So let's chat about that. For undergrad students, first and foremost, you're going to consult your academic calendar. So the university academic calendar outlines exactly what programs, what courses you are mandated to successfully take and complete throughout your entire Lakehead journey. You'll be able to then plan and prepare from there. You can use a tool called Build My Pre-Registration, typically open in early June for fall entry students. And then from there, you'll be able to submit your course registration upon the day that it's available to you. You can typically use that pre-registration builder to proceed through registration. Sometimes it opens in July, and in more recent years, we've seen it open in late June for first year students. But that is sort of a flexible and moving target always. Course registration needs to happen as our systems are ready and as course schedules are finalized. For our grad students, similarly, your first step is consulting your academic calendar, making sure you know exactly what courses you are prescribed to take in your first year, your first semester, your second semester, and so on. And then, as I noted before, plan and prepare. Get ready for what you should anticipate in terms of courses that you'll need to register for. But you can always await further instructions from your graduate coordinator. They'll send you communication via your email, your Lakehead email, that is, and they're going to share exactly how to proceed with course registration and if there's any specific courses that you individually will need to take as a part of your offer to Lakehead, perhaps. Circling back on one final point here is that the university calendar also contains information like university regulations, faculty regulations, department regulations, program requirements, and course descriptions. So it is a very powerful tool. It's can be overwhelming, I'll say that, but it's something great. Once you familiarize yourself with it once, it's something that you'll begin to learn and appreciate that you have access to this information and you can get a clear understanding of how to move forward with your Lakehead University application. That's it for our formal presentation today. I'll pass it over to Hartika next to kick off the live question and answer period.
Now we will move into our Q&A round. Please send in your questions through the chat, and while I'll do my best to address as many as possible, I wanted to give a shout out to my lovely colleague Paula, who has been answering all of your questions in the back end. So we do have some time for some questions. I can see a question coming. How do I start my application? I just signed up for UAC and I'm lost. Don't know what to do. Don't know the next step. While Paula is answering that in the background, I would also like to say that the application for the fall intake has already started. So I would suggest just view one of our webinars that we have done for the application process and also for the admission. You can check it on our YouTube channel. We have done a step-by-step tutorial of how to apply and what other things that you need to look for. So thank you, Blossom, for that question. What are the common reasons for visa rejection? What can an applicant do if his or her visa is rejected? So if you have already paid your fees and your visa gets rejected, you can opt for a refund by contacting our admissions team and also ask for a deferral if you're interested in applying for the next intake. What are the common reasons for visa rejection? For that, I would suggest just going to the IRCC page and getting up to date with all the reasons that they provide for the visa rejections. All right. So that brings us to the end of today's session. Thank you so much for joining. If you have any questions or want to connect with us further, feel free to reach out on social media. We are on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube under @Lakehead International. Also, if you're curious about student life, any kind of upcoming events, or just want to hear directly from the current students, those platforms are a really great way to stay in loop. So we really hope to see you at one of our next live webinars. And even more, we'd love to welcome you on campus as a Lakehead student someday. So thanks again for joining. Bye for now.
Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section below. You can connect with us on social media. You can find us at Lakehead International on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. We hope to see you in our next live webinar. Bye for now.